it. You managed to find a way to win. And everybody still loses!
While Extremis turned out kind of flat, The Pyramid at the End of the World is an excellent episode that builds powerfully upon Extremis' foundations and fixes almost every flaw it had. An ancient pyramid suddenly appears in the Middle East, in between the armies of China, Russia, and the US. The pyramid houses the monks, whose simulations predict a world-ending catastrophe, and they plan to rule the earth, but only if they are invited. The Pyramid at the End of the World is a dark, enthralling, and very clever slow burn with a great balance of setup and action, and makes Extremis feel almost redundant through the depth of its ideas. The monks have been expanded from generically sinister bad guys into one of the most intriguing and nuanced Doctor Who villains in years. They come across as just tyrants, just as in fair, not merely. They intend to conquer Earth and use the imminent Doomsday event as leverage to negotiate our surrender, but they insist that consent must be given willingly for them to take control. For the monks, consent born from love and trust is essential for rulership, and fear or strategy are punished with death. This juxtaposition of the monks' ghoulish appearance and ruthlessness with their warped sense of respect makes them deeply unnerving and hard to pin down. Despite its many disparate elements, including an ancient pyramid, the military, a deadly bacteria, computer simulations, and the metaphorical doomsday clock counting down to Armageddon, the Pyramid at the End of the World has a tense, streamlined narrative about the lengths humans will go to for survival. The episode presents a clear threat, which we see unfold in a lab experiment gone wrong, an associated dilemma, and much of the plot involves people in power engaging with this dilemma. War is a major theme in The Pyramid at the End of the World, given the episode's focus on the UN and its use of military leaders as major supporting characters, but it turns out to be a grand act of misdirection on the part of the monks and writers Stephen Moffat and Peter Harness. Through direct yet natural dialogue and performances, you understand the human characters' fear and willingness to surrender Earth so that the monks can save it. There is an age-long precedent in fiction, and real life, of people giving up liberties for the sake of safety. In another effective juxtaposition of motivations, the human leaders are being reckless and, to a degree, self-destructive in consenting to the monks' rule, but the Doctor may also be acting reckless in his outright refusal of any deal with the monks. He is right about how we don't know the cost of handing over our planet to the monks, but is he letting his pride as a hero get in the way of Earth's survival? In a brilliantly subversive ending, the Doctor does ultimately avert the prophesized apocalypse by incinerating the plague before it can escape the lab, but Bill's close bond with him both restores his eyesight and dooms the planet anyway. It isn't conflict, fear, or strategy that condemns Earth, but love, and while the day is saved, the Doctor still loses. The Pyramid at the End of the World feels much fresher and more original than Extremis, with a driving conflict, focused, strong momentum, characters acting decisively, and a phenomenal ending that wraps up this episode's events while setting up consequences for the next one, unlike Extremis, which was basically a string of cool ideas that didn't go anywhere. There isn't much else to say about The Pyramid at the End of the World. It's just an incredibly well-written, paced, and acted episode. Series 10 has gone from its worst episode to its best, with The Pyramid at the End of the World earning 4.5 stars out of 5. Thanks for watching. Cheers.